As of right now, Zack Moss might be and probably is the MVP of the offense through the first 3 games, and he's only played in 2 of them, right? We've already mentioned, we'll continue to mention, we'd probably be 3-0 if Zack Moss plays in week 1. But we are 2-0 in games where Zack Moss plays. We're also 2-0 in games where we don't turn the ball over. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, the Zack Moss effect is real. Okay. If we go back to last season, we go back, look at 2022. He got traded to the Colts. I believe it was on November 1st of last year. And he was kind of just packaged in with some draft capital from the Bills, right? But, we sent Naheem Hines over. And so far, I mean, we have gotten the much better end of that deal. The first game he appeared in for the Colts was against the Raiders, which was the Colts' last win of the 2022 season. It was Jeff Saturday's first game, and he only touched the ball once, right? And then he got 2 carries the next game, 1 carry the next game, then 3 carries. But then, due to injury and due to circumstances, as we got to the end of the season, he started to get more touches. He started a couple of games, right? In the Minnesota game, 33-0 game, 24 carries, 81 yards. Next game against the Chargers, 12 for 65, an average of 5.4. The next game against the Giants, 15 for 74, an average of 4.9. And finished the season against Houston, 18 for 114, an average of 6.3 with a rushing touchdown. So the way he finished the 2022 season for the Indianapolis Colts, right? It was the laughing stock of the league, right? Even the Bears, even though they ended up with the number 1 overall pick, they were exciting to watch because Justin Fields was running all over the place and he was putting points on the board like he couldn't throw. But it was exciting to watch the Bears play. The Colts were a terrible watch. The Colts were terrible on offense. And Zack Moss was a bright spot, one of the lone bright spots at the end of the season last year. And then coming into this year, breaks the forearm in training camp, has to miss some time, miss the entire preseason, missed week 1, but then came in against Houston. And that was a game where, you look at these last 2 games, 8 quarters Zack Moss has played, 7 of them have been with Gardner Minshew, right? He hasn't even had the benefit of having even more space open up for him because of the threat of Anthony Richardson. So what he's done, again against Houston here, 18 for 88 and a touchdown, an average of 4.9. Okay, still over 4 yards and even over 4.5. Like you start going over 4.5, that's when you start getting into the category of really good, right? Elite is where Nick Chubb lives, right? That's 4.9 and above, right? Right around that 5 range. That's where Nick Chubb lives. And Zack Moss, 4.9 against Houston, 4.1 average against Baltimore, where he had 30 carries for 122. He's played so many snaps over the first 2 games that he has played in this season. And he's even gotten 6 catches over these first couple games, right? And has that touchdown against Baltimore, which was a beautiful pass from Gardner Minshew. And now that we have a running back like Zack Moss, right, a guy that can make cuts, a guy that can make people miss. Okay, so not only is he a guy that can make people miss, he's a guy that can also bounce it on the edge, right? We saw the exact same play twice in the game where he bounced it to the edge and picked up 25 yards, right? Started at 25, ended at the 50 both times, right? So he's showing the ability to be able to do multiple things. Obviously, pretty much every run, he's able to get an extra yard, 2 yards, 3 yards out of it just by pushing himself forward. So having him in there, it makes me wonder just how well the Colts could have done in different departments if they had Zack Moss for longer last year and if Zack Moss was playing for us longer last year because the run game opens things up in the pass game, right? So we didn't have that last year, but having it this year with the coach that we have and the offense that he runs and the way that he calls games, I mean, Zack Moss has been a perfect fit for us. The offensive line has looked phenomenal these first few games in this new scheme with Zack Moss coming back, right? The first game was terrible. Deion Jackson and Jake Funk could not get it done, right? Evan Hull had the 1 carry, got a good chunk of yardage, looked good on his first carry, but now he's out for the season, which is so unfortunate. I thought he was going to be really good for us. But here we are, whereas we have Zack Moss, Trey Sermon's coming in. He's going to start to get some run. And then we have Jonathan Taylor coming back soon. Okay. So Jonathan Taylor and Zack Moss are going to be paired together, and that's going to be great. But the thing about Jonathan Taylor in this whole situation, we talk about the Zack Moss effect, is that Zack Moss performing the way that he is going to have a direct impact on Jonathan Taylor's value. Okay, Jonathan Taylor, through what we're seeing right now, is clearly not, we don't need him as much as he thinks we do at the price that he is setting for himself. Okay. I'm not sitting here saying he's not worth a lot of money. Okay. I want people to get paid, man. I want everybody watching this, everybody in the NFL, everybody everywhere to have financial freedom. That's the goal, right? Having financial freedom. I want Jonathan Taylor to get what he's worth. But at the end of the day, when facts are facts, his value's going down, at least in the Colts' eyes, because of what Zack Moss is doing, right? Zack Moss, when he gets his contract coming off of a rookie deal, who do you think is going to be cheaper? Right? Yes, the home run ability is there with Jonathan Taylor more, right? That we don't expect Zack Moss to really break away from anybody like Jonathan Taylor can. Jonathan Taylor is a special football player, and Jonathan Taylor deserves to be paid a lot of money. Okay, but let's not get it twisted. Jonathan Taylor might want, 16, $17 million. Bro, 10 or $12 million is still a lot of money. And with the salary cap going up, I would assume the deal that he would get, next year he would make right around $12 million. The next year he's making 13 or 13.5, and it's going to keep going up because the salary cap is shooting up. The NFL is one of the most lucrative businesses year in and year out in terms of growth, especially now that they're going more international. The NFL is going to continue to pump in more and more money. It's just going to be the way it is. So with the salary cap going to continue to pump up, so are players' salaries. Okay, Jonathan Taylor will be included in that. It's a smart business move for him to wait till after this season for that salary cap to bump up. Okay, they can project it all they want, but they'll know what it is for sure next offseason. So wait for that number to hit, because this last offseason, that number ended up being higher than what was projected. So if every team's salary cap is higher than what it's projected next season, he's going to be able to make more money and get a higher percentage of a team's salary cap allotted to him. So all in all, I just thought it was important to note, as we talk about Zack Moss and the direct impact he has on the field, you have to mention the impact that that's going to have on Jonathan Taylor. Okay, now Jonathan Taylor could come in week 5 and set the world back on fire and turn back into the number one running back in all of football. But we'll have to see that, right? Which is what Chris Ballard's been saying all along. We just want to see him get back on the field. So if Jonathan Taylor gets back on the field and is himself again and is explosive and getting, 60, 70-yard touchdown runs again, yeah, he's probably going to get the bag from the Colts, dude. Like, I just don't see a way where he comes back and is himself and doesn't get paid by us. Chris Ballard wants to mend the relationship. Jonathan Taylor balls out. That relationship gets mended with probably $15 million a year, right? If Jonathan Taylor comes back, he would play what? He misses 4 games. So he would then play 13 games, right? If he stayed healthy for the rest of the season, plays 13 games. Let's say because Zack Moss is involved, he ends up with 90 yards per game on average, but is able to get, average a touchdown a game. He's going to get broken off. If he helps us win games, he's going to get broken off. So we'll see what happens with Jonathan Taylor. But really, this is mostly about Zack Moss. And again, the Zack Moss effect, man. He has been so good for us. So glad that even for as much as we all enjoyed Nyheim Hines and we all like Nyheim Hines, it's unfortunate that he got hurt in a freak jet ski accident in Buffalo, but he was able to have an amazing moment, right? That spine-chilling moment in the first game back after the DeMar Hamlin thing, and has not just the opening kickoff, but 2 different kickoffs in that game that he returned for touchdown. And it wasn't even the first game in his career where he returned multiple for touchdowns, right? We all love Nyheim Hines, but it's real nice to have Zack Moss right now. Really thankful he's on our team. Really thankful that we were able to get Trey Sermon, who's going to eventually be the third running back when Jonathan Taylor comes back. Our depth at the running back position is crazy. We have AR. Michael Pittman is an absolute dog. And there were people in the comment section last week in the Money Matters episode talking about, oh, he doesn't deserve to get that contract when I was talking about, him getting paid over $20 million. Bro, Michael Pittman, say what you want. A lot of GMs are going to want that dude on their team. Okay. And as a Colts fan, right now, I'm glad he's on our team because just like Zack Moss, we wouldn't have won the last two games without Michael Pittman being there. Okay. So this is enough for the Zack Moss appreciation video. If you like this, go ahead, drop a like on this video for me. And look, man, little by little, we're getting better, okay? There's about 84% of the people that come to this channel for Colts content are not subscribed. If you're one of those people, please hit that subscribe button. We just got over 450, and when we get to 500, I got a surprise for the community that is subscribed. So please be one of those people if you enjoy the content here. It's a great free way to support the channel, and I really can't tell you guys how much it means to have that support from you. So again, thank you guys for stopping by. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.